Good evening everyone. Welcome to Creative Edge. My name is Rajendra Bhatia and today we are talking about NATA 2022, the second attempt. How to attempt the design questions and definitely what all syllabus we have to cover. Friends, as you know, there are three types of question in NATA as far as design is concerned. Preferential type question, that is select three correct options according to the preferences. That means the first preference, second preference and third preference. Friend, the second type of question will be multiple choice. Now, first preference, second preference, third preference, that means the preferential type is also multiple choice, as well as multiple choice generally contains two correct answers out of maybe four. At times they may give more answers. Similarly, in the preferential type question also, they may have more than four answers, out of which three are definitely correct, and you have to give them your preferences. Then third type of multiple choice question, you have to just select one. Here the option may be less. Let us further understand them with the practical examples. First of all, let me also tell you about Nata Pattern. Now, Nata Pattern design has got about 50 questions. Okay, the marks allocated are 150 to 115 to those 50 questions. Now, these are design questions. Design means the visual perception, the visual understanding, and understanding of an artwork or a design. Okay, including the AAT, Architecture Awareness Test. Then verbal reasoning, reading comprehensions and verbal ability, general awareness and current affairs, then quantitative aptitude and non-verbal reasoning. Okay, so 125 questions, 200 marks. This is one of the example. You will first of all, excuse me for slightly late in starting, but believe me, I am going to compensate it. Generally, this kind of question, which building is in front of the other? These type of questions are asked by a temporary mode, in the sense they give you a time bound answering visual perception. That means whatever you have perceived, you have to perceive it well within 30 seconds and you have to answer such visual clips. Okay. Now, which building is in front of the other? You've seen it, maybe I have overrun the time. The above question is more of a visual riddle. You must have formed your answer, and yes, you can do it in my this live presentation also. Now we come on to the answer. Answer. If you zoom in, you will actually notice that the building in the left is closer. Now purposely, the examiner had given you the dark color building, which automatically, as per the Chromosomes, goes in the backdrop. I have taken once again the slide of Chromosomes in the end of this presentation. I will tell you what is Chromosomes, and that again also can form one of the question. What happens in a two-dimension picture wherein there is a three-dimension presentation? Only the color can give a difference. Now this grey building or the black color building was actually looking like as if it is at the back, and the brown color or the lighter color building was looking in the front. But as we go into the deeper understanding of it, you can see that the whole structure of the outer unit of the air conditioner is getting cut by this parapet wall. So here the correct answer is the left side building, the dark building is in front. So do not get carried away by just the color in such visual presentation. Please go and look into the screen more keenly, look into the smaller structure given around, 30 seconds are good enough for understanding such questions. Okay, and this can make or mar your total examination paper. Now here also, as you can read my under the footnote, the above question again is a visual riddle. Which lock fits the key? Remember here the key is left side right, the left side right, and now you look into the lock. 1 2 3 4 5, you can look into this, turn it into left for looking into the answer. That's enough of 30 seconds, and we go to the answer. Answer the log 5. I'll go back to the picture for explaining it. See, as I told you, you had to take these projections on the left side. So the two projections are not there, so one is cancelled, two projection not there, and two also cancelled, three no, two projection are not there on the left side, third also cancelled, two projection not on the left side, fourth cancelled, fifth two projection on the left side, reconfirm it by one small projection on the right side. That is indeed fitting into it. So this much of time, 30 seconds, within 30 seconds, you can practice more of such riddles by yourself. After all, I am here to suggest you as to how to really work out or smartly work out the total syllabus of Nata. I have started with visual riddles. That means visual perception and visual understanding of given pictures. We go on to the next one. If somebody had seen my earlier presentation, I did include this, but this time I have brought in some better notes on the presentation. Now here also they can show the picture for 30 seconds also. But I am going to read this out in more than 30 seconds. Any which ways, we are trying to understand the pattern of the Nata exam. And let us see. Krishna Spring in Kullu is a painting by artist Nicholas Roerich that has Krishna playing flute under a blossom tree with majestic snow-covered mountain in the backdrop. Indicate the three most important visual principles used in the artwork given here. Now when we read this similarity, if you have studied Gestalt principles, right? The question asked above is mix of visual and Gestalt principles. Now similarity is a Gestalt principle. Emphasis, principle of visual art, visual textures, visual art, and asymmetrical balance against the visual principles. So let us see the answer also, and then we discuss it back. B, C and D is the correct answer, whereas A is wrong. Now coming back to B, emphasis. Where is the emphasis? Emphasis is on Krishna. Clearly everything surrounds him. Visual texture, you can find that the blossom tree here is with the visual texture. You feel as if the tree is really existing there. Okay. Also the visual texture is there on the mountain. The snow is looking so real. Asymmetrical balance, if you divide it vertically and horizontally from the middle, you can find that Krishna, the main focus is on the law of third, the one-third focal point, the golden focal point, 1. So the visual balance is being brought in by these continuous mountain on the left side. The visual weight is divided, more weight on Krishna because of the stature of Krishna. However, it is well balanced with help of 3 mountains here. That's how you read a drawing. So in 30 seconds, you can read all this and attempt the question. Exactly, these are not the kind which generally come in 30-second time. I will bring back those 30-second time question to you in the next few slides. In fact, it is in the next slide only. Look carefully at the picture to solve three riddles. Now, here you have to only note down few things. Look at the number of people, look at what they are doing, look at the condition of the tent, look at this. Is there a notice here? If you have noticed this, look at what is going on, what is happening here. Notice what they are doing. 30-second good enough? Now we attempt the question. Look carefully at the picture to solve the three riddles. Now here I have noted down only the riddles. How many people were attending the camp? Have they arrived at the camp today? There were 4 men visible in the picture. What each one of them is doing. Friends, if you have already attempted the first Nata examination, you know that this exactly is the pattern of asking the question. 30-second the visual, then the questions, and then given time for answering these 3 questions. Right? So this exactly is the pattern what I have picked up in this one question. We will also have more practical questions here. Okay? Now friends, if you have found the answer, I will come on to the answer. Let us go on to it and we will discuss it with the picture only. Here, check the list on the tree. Actually, did you, I also made a note of it to you that please look at what it is. Did you see that? There are 2 names, 4 and 6 names written. So if this is the attendance of the camp, then leave those 4 people here, which even the question has already mentioned. Okay, what was the question there? How many people were attending? How have they arrived at the camp today? There were 4 men visible in the picture. 4 men visible in the picture. What each one of them is doing. This question is to misguide your mind over here. How many people are attending the camp? 50% of candidates, they go wrong in answering that there are only 4 people attending the camp. Actually, you were supposed to look into the list of the people and give the answer as 6 people. A spider has woven a web near the tent. You see that? So if that is the case, they should not have arrived today. Then the question what the men were doing, 4 people were doing. So I did mention you should be noticing down. Also, I forgot telling you, even in such question, notice down how many birds flying. Okay? Also notice, in case you get time, that these trees are barren trees. What is kept in the other boat? Okay? And what is the plate kept here? What is getting cooked? If it is not visible, forget about it. Okay? What the snail is doing here is crawling up. Fine. So, friends, now we come on to, like to have one more look at it. Check the list on the tree. It is list of 6 people. A spider has woven a web near the tent. This means they must have been staying for a few days at least here. Then 2 men are having lunch. The third one is measuring the depth of the river. The fourth one is fishing. You could see that fishing rod here. Other type of question. Observe the floor plan. Friends, there used to be a time when Nata used to ask only question on the monuments, showing the picture of monument and ask the name of the building, give option for that, and then you have to tick mark it. Now the question have gone a little more difficult. Like, although I have described it quite in detail, this is an Islamic shrine located on Temple Mount in the old city of Jerusalem, a site also known to the Muslim as the Al Haram, Al Sharif, or Al Aqsa compound. The site of this building is highly contested. What is it? Or which is this building? So if you have read about each monument fairly enough, you may be asking Al Haram, Al Sharif, or Al Aqsa. Or you could have been giving the more popular name of this, because these are the other names which you are not to mention. Here is the picture of that building, the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem, because here it was mentioned Jerusalem and Jerusalem ka monument, the Dome of Rock in Jerusalem. Observe the floor plan now and recognize the monument with following description. Now again I tell you friends, this is my presentation to you where I am giving more detail. In fact, in the examination you may not get these many details. Anyway, if you get these details, fine. It is former temple in Athenian Acropolis, Greece, dedicated to the goddess Athena, whom the people of Athens considered their patroness. It is the most important surviving building of classical Greece, generally considered the zenith of Doric order. The marble monuments of this building are kept in British Museum. So both these questions are AAT question basically, but I consider them as design questions because you have to recognize them with help of their blueprint design or the picture. So Parthenon in Athens is the right answer. The Parthenon or Elgin marbles are in British Museum. इसके जो अंदर के monuments हैं, they all have been shifted to British Museum. So that catch was there in the questionnaire also. The marble monuments of these buildings are kept in British Museum. Coming to the next, following is an example of how to study Gestalt principle and logos. Friends, we are talking on 2nd of July, and you have got fair enough of 4 days as to what all to cover, what all to be seen or revived or revised in your preparation for for taking Nata, finally facing Nata on 7th of July. So let us see what all you can revise or you can study fast enough. Now this as I said, example of how to study Gestalt principle and logos. Now you take any good logo. Here I have taken an example of FedEx Express, FedEx Freight, and FedEx Office. FedEx is a large company and one of the fastest grown up company. FedEx, the color psychology plays. Now these are the notes available with us in Creative Edge, and yes, some of the notes are also available if you have to search it long way into the Google. So anyway, you can approach us on number 888-9633-222 for any further inquiries of obtaining some ready-made notes, of obtaining some quick revision before you go in for final exam. I'll repeat this number before we finish this presentation, but let us look into how much details you should be reading, and then I will also frame certain questions which are other than this as well. So just read it carefully. Color psychology plays a significant role when it comes to the branding of a business, and no one has used colors better than FedEx. FedEx offers different products to the customers and do differentiate them it changes the color of the logo smartly. FED, that is fed, in purple and X in orange, but this color scheme only represents its express services. The color of fed has been maintained by the business, but the X color is changed to reflect its different aspects. For example, X in red color represents its freight services to what we know as logistics, and the X in yellow color signifies the trade network services. Now this is what we read about FedEx, but when we really go through Gestalt principle, this question, the coming up questions, can only be answered when you have read about all the Gestalt principles. Now question could be identify the term which satisfy the given logo. Figure and ground, Landor Associate, a dream about logistic express delivery. Now here I have not gone round the way. I am giving you a straight answer also. Answer A, B and D are correct. Now what I did not read in my previous slide or did not bring in the previous slide are first two. Figure and ground, one of the principle. You know where the figure and ground exists in FedEx. Let me show you figure and ground. Now this arrow here that is formed with the negative area of between E and X. Actually it's better visible with this white color arrow indicating the direction or its main work as logistic. Okay, so one of the classical example of figure, that means the write-up of FedEx, and the ground, that means the background taken into the inside the logo, showing its type of work that it performs. So that is Gestalt principle. Then the other thing, Landor Associate are the maker of that logo. That also I did not cover in my slide. A dream about logistic is what confusing. There is nothing to deal with that logo into this. Whereas express delivery, yes, express delivery is FedEx Express. So out of the 4 answers, 3 are correct, and that is how I have shown you as to how to study such kind of logo marks in your left out days. Some of you must have prepared them. You need to just revise onto all these 4 aspects and not just the aspect that I have noted down here. Then, as I told you right in the beginning, following is a question based on visual perception. A visual illusion whereby impression of depth is conveyed in 2-dimension color images is called, reference the given image, and this is the fill in the blank. Either it is metamerism, chromosteropsis, basalt effect or Thatcher effect. What are all these 4? Only one answer is correct in this. The correct answer is chromosteropsis. Chromosteropsis is a condition where one color takes the area to backdrop or to a deeper perception, whereas the other color brings it up. You further go into the detailed chromosteropsis. There are 2 types of it, positive chromosteropsis and negative chromosteropsis. So all these are different visual terminology that you should be studying. There was one time Nata never used to include these terminology. However, in the very first online examination of Nata, they actually asked what was chromosteropsis, and they also asked about the basalt effect. So these two terms have actually appeared in the very first examination after the lockdown. Okay, the very first online examination that Nata offered. So my dear friends, you need to study out all 20-25 types of different terminology, know their definition if you want to really crack Nata with flying colors. Who is this gentleman? That is my foundation or the base of indicating you what all you could really study in next 4 days. If you have left them out, do not panic, but yes, really hurry up and settle down with your timing, divide your timing, and I'm going to reveal you something very, very interesting in the end. So do not really panic, but you will come to know as you come to know about this gentleman that what topic you should be selecting for studying such kind of images. Answer is D. Francis Carey, an architect, educator and social activities, has been selected as the 2022 laureates of the Pritzker Architecture Prize, announced by Tom Pritzker, chairman of Hyatt Foundation, which sponsored the award that is regarded internationally as architecture's highest honor. Very funnily, very layman language, they started calling Pritzker Award as the Nobel Prize of Architecture. No, it is not the Nobel Prize at all. Pritzker Awards are Pritzker Award. Started in somewhere around 1970s, and you should look into the history of it, study it out and work out your detail. Now friends, before concluding this talk, very important point. If you like, you can take a screenshot. What all to study in this short time of revision. Elements of design. Without understanding elements of design, you cannot understand principle of design. Third are principle of architecture. Although I haven't brought in a sample question on principle of architecture, but there are many questions. But yes. Then Gestalt principles. Gestalt principles are rarely taught by many of our kind of people, but yes, Creative Edge, we take care of even taking Gestalt principle and have a comparative study of Gestalt principle to principle of architecture, principle of design, and even elements of design. Then blueprints. You must have seen in my earlier presentation that blueprint is an important thing now introduced or now been taken care due to Nata examination. Color theory. Again, I did not really bring a color theory, perception and color psychology question because I covered it in my last presentation. So fine, anyway, you can study that. Then visual effect and terminology, that I gave you an example of chromostereopsis, metamerism and basalt effect kind of terminology. Then visual readers, we did so many of them, and actually lot of candidates are really panicking. You need to just practice about 100 of visual readers. We are left out with 4 days, 50 riddles a day very easily can be found and studied, practice for 30 seconds, what all to be seen and worked out. Architecture awareness, read out all about Pritzker Awards and awardees. Don't forget B.V. Joshi, the architect from India, who also was the only, or rather is the only Indian Pritzker awardee. so far. And then of course the monuments and the famous architects and the architectural material, because they may give a picture of an architectural material, maybe different kind of mortars, different kind of steel, different type of textures, different type of stones, and may ask a question on that picture. Friends, I think if you have covered these 9 aspects in your preparation, I am very sure that you are going to bring down a feather in your cap, or maybe bringing out results with flying colors. Any inquiry, any query, any type of question, you are welcome to shoot a message, a WhatsApp message on 888-9633-222. 888-9633-222. Thank you very much for being with me, and see you then very shortly.